Aloha! Today is the 19th day of no pharmaceuticals, no pharmaceuticidals. I'm finding my body is really not um, feeling so good. I feel like I'm outside of myself a little bit, which is a good thing. It's part of the transcendence. We're becoming one with ourselves. Yeah. So today I thought would be storytelling day and a little bit about really why I'm here looking at that tower over there and maybe a little view of my kitchen. I wanted to show you my kitchen. This is sustainable living. My state of kitchen and my World Cup. And just a little bit of those things. So what's going on further? Yummy sun tea. This is Tulsi, but it's not herbal. It's actually bagged Tulsi. I'm gonna grow some Tulsi. And you come over here. This is my refrigerator. Look at this. Check this out. It's actually a wine keep that I found at the dump, and it was in perfect condition other than it doesn't work. So it's got a great seal. It keeps the buggies out, and I can keep my utensils in here so that they don't get, you know. And the magic corner of life. Yeah, that's my gifted space. So grateful for this space to be in. This is my car. That you can see I got a car that I was manifesting. It's a great little 88 Subaru 4-wheel drive. She's awesome. These are little deer antlers that I manifested from Nancy. Asked for them out on Facebook and received them within 15 minutes. It's just my gift of life. I'm going to turn these into a harp, I believe. And a little magical bin of goodies in there. Oh yeah, my magic there. And my resting space where I am able to rest very comfortably. Thank you. Very grateful. And more magic and life and all of that. So I guess today is storytelling time as to why I'm here, and I'm gonna take it a little bit at a time. So introducing different videos and stuff. So I guess the reason why I'm here on this space is because this is where I landed when I first got to the islands, August 2009. So 3 years ago that I landed in 2009, and was in a very mentally distraught place, coming out of a bad relationship and false accusations and a demeanor of my spirit, and landed here on this beautiful land. And I was in a cabin originally that was unfinished, and now it's finished. It's gorgeous, and there's a beautiful family living there. And so I ended up bouncing around after I left here, and I left here because I got really sick. My body started breaking down. My energy went nil. So I decided, okay, with no energy, I'll go back to transcribing. And I took a job on transcribing, and then I realized I needed, if I couldn't do the physical work that required me of these beautiful horses you'll see at some point, and of the ranch that I was living on, that I needed to move on and pay rent somewhere. So I moved on and ended up getting really sicker, and my job was starting to become a problem because my mental capacity started dwindling. After 27 years as a transcriptionist, I worked 22 years of those 27 years at home. I was like the original barefoot, fluffy, super secretary, and everybody always wanted to know how I was making a fortune. Back in those days, it was good money, $80,000 in 6 months at home. So they kind of took the industry and said no more to that. They cut it out a little bit, but I still kept my production up to where I was making really good money. Then I started my own business, blah, blah. So that's my medical transcription career is real, and I made a fortune from the computer, working at home, taking care of my children on my own. I did have help at one point from a beautiful man, and we split our ways, but he was a good papa to my children, and their papa never showed up, never appeared. 3 children, daddy never appeared. So anyway, the gist of that is that I supported my children and my community with the money I was making. And the next thing was my mind, my ability to count money, my mind, my ability to type, to do my job became evident when I started making grave errors, and my boss was concerned. And then I ended up where I couldn't walk for 3 days. And so my beloved friend Govinda brought me to the hospital, and within an hour they checked me in and found that I had blood clots scattered throughout all my lungs and in my leg. My whole popliteal was shut down, so that's why I couldn't walk or move in my left side. So shocking, because my energy was slowing down, my mental capacity was slowing down. I was in gastric distress. My belly was really gurgling and hurtful, and lots of things going on. My throat was beginning to give sounds I wasn't used to when I was saying. I couldn't dance, I couldn't do yoga, I couldn't do anything. That's what led up to being in the hospital. I spent 8 days in the hospital, 11-11-11, from 11-5 through 11-13, and I died on 11-11-11. I gave up. And I literally was shot up into the starnation. And it was the most beautiful, all hawks are flying. It's the hawks that are living in it. And I was shot up into the Star Nation, and it was the most beautiful experience. It was right after I called my mom. It was like 6 something in the morning to remind her that I was in the hospital. And me and my mom have a strange relationship, unfortunately. It's a love, not like kind of thing. And so I called her, and she said to me, I never met anybody who has as many problems as you do. You might as well die. And at that point I let go, because I'm already a grandmother. I pretty much lived my dream. I've had everything in life. I've been very grateful. I was in my giveaway. I've given everything away, and I've had it returned back to me. I gave it away again to be here in Hawaii. And now she says this, so I let go and I send it, and it was the most amazing experience. I felt myself leave my body, and there became a point where the pain just let go, and I floated high. I felt my body floating, and it just went up into the stars so amazingly, and so white upon white, and sparkles and shine. The sound was phenomenal. The sound was just beautiful. And so as I was getting further up, there was a point when the pain just went whoosh, and it dispersed, and I became one with the light. And I felt there was no more pain. This pain that had been bothering me, there was no diagnosis as to why. I thought it was my kidneys and doing cleanses. It just disappeared. I was on morphine in the hospital. It was still there. Didn't feel the chest pain, didn't feel the leg pain. Felt the back pain on morphine. So I just dispersed into the light. And then something in my mind said, I need to go home. And the moment I said that, out to my right came this portal. And I said, my grandson is going to be born in 10 days. I need to go home now. And because I knew my grandson was going to be born in 10 days. So this portal opened up, and there was a blue embryo around it, a blue-white light. And I don't know if that's where it came from, and maybe that's where that thought came from, but it opened up, and I took it back down. It was kind of like a lateral, like I just went back down. And as soon as I got to this one point, the pain grasped me and just brought me back to this plane. And I was safely brought back into Gaia's arms. And I awoke, and there was a priest with oil on my third eye. And I asked, when I came through, they were like, "You're here with us." They said, "You're here." And I said, "I'm here. What is that oil?" Hoping it was Blue Lotus. It might have been canola. Don't know. Even the second time, when I ended up in the hospital, the priest came back to visit me, and all the doctors and everything who worked on me the first time, who were amazing. I'll get back to that in a moment. He still couldn't answer me as to what the oil was. So it might have been sweet almond. I don't know if they take that expense in the priesthood to do that. It could have just been Wesson oil. I don't know. But oil. Oil. Anyhow, from there, that day from 11/11, I woke up with this energy and this thought that I needed to get out of the hospital. They were giving me love knock shots in my belly twice a day. They were making sure that the blood clots would go away, and giving me iron, lots and lots of iron, because my blood was depleted. And they kept asking me. I kept telling them, the pain meds aren't working, my back hurts, please help me. And they weren't concerned. My friends, my beloved friends, brought me water from the Hamakua coast, and that is sacred water that comes from Mauna Kea. It actually runs down from the sacred mountain in Mauna Kea, and they brought me water from the Hamakua coast, brought me organic, homemade, yummy goodness. I got Reiki therapy from my beloved friends. I'm so grateful. The hospital, I asked questions because being a medical transcriptionist, I did not want to go to the Western medicine world. I've heard everything in 27 years. I've worked in every field, in every practice, in every stuff, in every modality in this typical thing. I've worked for Johns Hopkins Hospital, training, studies, and all I see is more and more meds, more and more surgeries, and then people die. More and more meds, more and more surgeries, and people die. We're all going to die. It's our path and our choice at a point as to how we're going to die. Do we give it up to the hands of those who, in their greatest intent, I know, want to help us? They didn't go into the practice just to make money. There's some evil, sinister people out there who feel that that's, but the job itself is not an easy job. So whoever takes that on, I give them lessons and grace and love, because it's not something that everybody can or should do. It's a demanding job, and it's draining. However, my practice being more Buddhist than Christian, more universal than commercial, I began talking to the doctors I was able to speak to them in the beginning. So they brought down the nutritionist. They brought down, because I was eating raw, good yummies. How did this happen to me? We were trying to figure it out. There happened to be other people in the hospital at the same time going through the same thing, including, and this is so bizarre, I'm in the hospital. I have my computer. My cousin's son, Matthew Panarello, is in the hospital in New Jersey with a DVT, with a deep venous thrombosis in his leg.
He's a 27-year-old male in the hospital in New Jersey with blood clots in his leg. There were 7 other people in the hospital with blood clots in their bodies. And the reason why they told me this is because I have HIPAA clearance and I'm a medical transcriptionist, so I'm able to get, but they didn't give me all the details. So they're trying to make the constellation of what was going on at that given time, especially 11/11/11. I was supposed to be at 19.5 degrees here in the Big Island, celebrating with the group for enlightenment and us beautiful light keepers who have been waiting for this time, actually. So, that being a coincidence, that being a constellation, that there are many people. Well, I ended up speaking to all the doctors. The doctors were very kind and wonderful. I asked them about parasites, flukes, about all these things. Of course, they didn't understand that. They didn't believe that. I'm still under the belief that it was definitely a toxin that was released into my blood when I started to detox, when I moved away from my first location, which was here. So, now, I get out of the hospital, I go home. While I'm in the hospital, my boss sends me, I work as an independent contractor, my boss sends me a notice while I'm in the hospital and asking where I am, why aren't I online, why aren't I working with the team. And my Dr. Doe, his name is Dr. Doe, Dr. Doe, crazy, send the fax and lets them know that I'm in the hospital with pulmonary embolism without any concern, without any compassion. How am I doing? Nothing like that. I get a notice that says you should consider resigning to take care of your health, simply put. I was devastated. I told them that I could not do that. I would not do that. I had no other, means of support, and I wasn't making that much money anyway. The industry has faltered, so and my productivity went down because of my slowness, but I'd already been making too many mistakes with my mental awareness not being as great. So I asked Dr. Doe to check me out now. I need to go home and start my shift tomorrow. And he said, against my better judgment, but okay, we'll let you go. I went home, and within that week that I was home, they starved me of work. They didn't send me any work. I made $5, and pretty much got blacklisted from any other. It's a very small community. It's a big community, but it's a very small community. After 27 years, I was pretty well known, and could get a job or get an account very easily, because I was good, and wasn't any good. Not for them, and not for me. So I went to the state aid for assistance, and very grateful for the assistance I am receiving. I receive food stamps and public assistance of $300 a month, and I'm waiting for disability to come in. So it'll be a year, December, that I filed, and we'll see if you're going to accept that. So that is the reason why I'm in this tent. And living here, my beautiful friend Julie Connor, love you, Julie B. Rescued me from a farm that I was working on after I lost my job. So went into a work trade situation and forced my body to push a push mower, which made me bleed out. I ended up back in the hospital. I vomited blood, pooed blood, minty blood, woke up in a puddle of blood. I ended up back in the hospital again, January, and that was a lot from the Coumadin because I had to take that rat poison warfarin. So that's why I bled out. Then they had me do a colonoscopy to check out why my insides were going. Nobody's still doing anything about my back. So End up back in the hospital, and that's when the doctors all came back in, and they're like, "Oh, you're here, miracle woman, and we love you." And look, they just back on the iron intravenously, back on. They put me on morphine again, and I was like, I don't want to be on morphine. I just felt my blood pressure was like 70/40 or something crazy like that, and so by the third day, they said you need blood. So the beauty of that is I'm in the hospital, I okay the blood, and I'm not worried about AIDS. I'm not worried about hepatitis. I've worked in the hospital. I've had all my titers taken, and TB, all that stuff. I wasn't worried about any bloodborne disease. What I was worried about is cellular memory. Being in this faith, in this alternative healing circle for years, I realized that our DNA and our blood and our makeup of individual who we are, blood is our life force. And I have gone through so much in cleansing my blood out. There was a reason for that. I wanted to cleanse my blood out. I needed to cleanse my blood out. Not necessarily because of the disease process, but because of the cellular memory. That's a whole nother story. But it has to do with my mom. And, yeah, our blood and our DNA is everything. So I cleanse my blood out. Now they're ready to give me someone else's blood who I don't know. So the nurse brings it in, and it's ice cold. And I'm O positive, by the way. So I'm holding this blood, and I'm toning into it. The sound of the stars is amazing. So the nurse takes the blood out of my hand, and she says, "God will bless the blood. You'll be fine." So I end up, oh, don't make them all brown. Don't make them all brown. So I wake up, and no.